Hi everyone, it's Roger here from What's On at DisneyPlus.com. It's time for the weekly Q&A. So you can take part in the Q&A if you are a YouTube channel member, or you could use the super chat function. So with this here, patrons and YouTube channel members have all been able to submit questions in advance. We've got quite a few of them, and we've got quite a few people already in the live chat. So if you can hear me, just let me know. So this is something that we do every single week. So we'll do this at the same time every single week. So everyone had a nice time to do it. So we've got a lot of questions to jump into today. Yeah, we've got loads of great ones. So we're going to be jumping in straight away. Like I said, we'll just be jumping in. And here we go. So I like to start off with the one that we kind of start with, and everyone can hear me. So that's always a good sign. So Dana asks, does Netflix own those Marvel shows, or will Disney try to get them back eventually? If Netflix owns them, do you think Disney will try and acquire them? Okay, so this show actually got cancelled way back in 2018. So here's an article that I wrote way back then. Can't believe it's 2018 when I started writing these articles, but here we go. So back when it came out, it said Marvel's Daredevil will not return for a fourth season on Netflix, and we're tremendously proud of the show. So that's the normal thing. But one thing that was very interesting in the official press release way back when they cancelled it was they said that while the series on Netflix has ended, the 3 existing seasons will remain on the service for years to come, while the Daredevil character will live on in future projects for Marvel. So that was very much the state at the time, was that they said that, this is something that they've got access to. So Netflix has the distribution rights for the streaming side. Now, Disney have released them on like Blu-ray and things like that. So they have got distribution rights, and ABC did make the series. So Disney made it, but it looks like Netflix holds distribution rights for the streaming side of things. And I could see, Disney might want to buy them back, whether or not they feel value. I mean, I think it's more so maybe when they've kind of sorted out what they're doing with Hulu, it might be a bit more sense then. Or if Daredevil becomes really popular, they might get it back. Though they could get the shows back at some point. There might have been a thing where they had 3 years or 5 years or 10 years or whatever. But we don't know. The contract's not out there in public domain, so we don't really know. All we know is that Netflix has said it was going to be for years to come. It has been years. There was a 2-year clause that meant that they couldn't do anything with it. But that's now passed, which is why we are expecting to see one of the characters turning up. Actually, we're going to expect 2 of the characters to turn up this week. Kingpin is expected to turn up on Wednesday in Hawkeye, while we're also expecting Matt Murdock to turn up in the Spider-Man movie, which comes out this week as well. So we're going to have a lot of great stuff. Two Big Row went on to say, I think Daredevil is shared between Disney or Netflix, or maybe just Disney has the TV, DVD rights. I think it's the second one where Netflix has, that was the whole thing. This was done way before Disney Plus. So yeah, so there's definitely going to be an interesting one going on forward. So I'm going to do a few of the live ones after we've just done a few of the pre-done ones in advance, because it's just generally a little bit easier. So if you've got any live questions, feel free to pop them in. And if you've got any comments while we're making the questions, pop them in there as well. So Eric said, with FX becoming a global brand, could you see them announcing something similar for the Oxy Collective, Freeform, and ABC? I think the Oxy Collective, which is a brand new sort of brand, and they seem to be making a lot of announcements about it. At some point, I think it will do, but at the minute, it hasn't got enough content. It might have to wait until we've got more than 1 or 2 things. I think we've got like Summer of Soul. That's about all we've got so far. So I can't see them making a special area on Disney Plus until they've got, half a dozen or a dozen projects out. I think we're going to have to wait until that. Freeform, no, I can't see that ever being turned into a brand. It still just sounds like a feminine product to me. It's just a dead brand. ABC is really tricky because ABC, American Broadcasting Network Corporation, obviously they can't use it in Australia because they've already got an ABC, the Australian Broadcasting. So I think that might be an issue with that one. So yeah, I definitely feel like that is going to be a sense. Joshua's just putting here, would it make more sense to have Oxy, Freeform, and ABC deemed Star? I think for the time being, I definitely see them that they'll be deemed as Star content for the time being. Now we've actually got quite a few questions on this. This has all come off of a question that sort of led on, because obviously we had the deal with FX being turned into a global brand, and I kind of speculated, and a lot of people have, that they're going to want to start using this. And one of the things I have said in the past is I think Star is going to go through a little bit of an expansion. They might start moving some of the things out, maybe like 20th Century and FX, and put them out onto their own separate brands rather than this big, like, colossal Star, because there's so much in there. It's hard to find stuff. I think it did what it needed to for when they launched Disney Plus, because I think when they launched Disney Plus, it was a little bit like, you know, well, we got all this stuff and we don't want to have too many brands in there, and to keep it simple. So they made it simple with the Star brand, launched it, seeing what the reaction is. And now here we are at the end of the year, and Star branding is pretty much nearly gone. You know, they're not really using it too much. I wouldn't be at all surprised if maybe after February, when it's been around a year, they maybe completely kind of ease off. I think Star's going to continue on, but there's a few extra questions here that I want to get into. Era said, do you think they'll collect a global brand for their adult animation? No, I think they're going to keep that within the 20th television or 20th studios. Connor said, now that FX is becoming a global brand, Digital Spy are reporting that the FX BBC deal has now ended, with all non-Hulu shows leaving iPlayer when their current windows expires. Season 3 of What We Do in the Shadows is airing on BBC Two right now, but this could be a hint at new seasons airing. So I think obviously the deal has ended. So looking at here into, for example, in the iPlayer at the minute, it does state that there's still got over a year left. So there's still quite a while left on that one. I think we all knew that this deal was coming to an end. It just means now that new stuff might start dropping on there. And I don't know if these shows are coming back for more seasons. But yeah, I think it's definitely ended. I wouldn't be at all surprised if this show did return, if it did stay on BBC, because they might have for that particular show. But I think the deal has now completely ended. We're just going to see a lot more content from that. Moving on, let's see what else we have got here in the questions. Connor also said the same website is also stating that that the linear National Geographic and National Geographic Wild channels will close in 2022 in February. Now, this one's been rolling around for a while. This one's been rolling around. Originally, there was some rumors of them closing them down by like November, December. That hasn't happened, and it was still very much in the rumor territory. It was kind of coming from one or two sources. You got to remember as well, with the Digital Spy forums, you know, anyone can post there, so it's not necessarily official. The only thing is, I mean, Connor sent this over last night, and there was a few other from a few of you members, and I literally spent pretty much the whole of Strictly Come Dancing going through the forum, looking at bits and pieces. I actually did quite a little bit of research on this last night, which I wasn't expected to do, but it's actually kind of interesting because here on Now TV, nearly everything that's in here, bar an occasional title, is going to be ending by before April. Most of them, I mean, even like Anthrax, the new series, is only going to be on there shortly. Everything's January, March. You can see here, March, February, January, February. Everything that's on here is that. And I'm wondering if this is why we've been having such a problem here in the UK with National Geographic content not arriving on Disney Plus as quickly as in the United States, because there's so much stuff on Now TV, and I would imagine at some point this is going to come off. Whether or not that's going to be April or if it's a little bit before that. But we're just seeing here, everything is kind of, everyone I've tried to find on there. There are a few exceptions of a few titles, but it looks like a lot of the National Geographic content is going to be leaving the sort of Now TV. Now, whether or not that gets replaced, who knows? But I think that deal is probably going to come to an end. I expect it was a short-term deal. As far as them closing down the channels, I don't think I think it's likely to go at some point. But personally, I like it to go just so we can have a little bit more clarity of what they're doing with everything with this. But it's definitely, I feel like National Geographic is going to be it's probably on borrowed time a little bit. Also on the forum, kind of mentioned that they're interesting. They talk about a plan for a new reality TV brand called Life, which is basically Fox Life in the APAC channels being turned into a brand like FX. Now, I do feel like with this one, it's a little bit interesting with the branding of this. It's tricky because I feel like if they start bringing in reality TV content, they are going to need a brand for that. Whether or not it's Life, I don't know. I mean, it's a little bit generic. I mean, at the minute, you might as well just chuck it in under Star. But they could be looking at really making a big shift in terms of content. I'm not sure about life. This is the first time I heard about it was through this forum. So definitely feel like that is one to look at. Wow, we just got a super chat here from Lady Jennifer Snow. Thank you so much for your support, and thank you very much for being a member. Really means a lot. So if Limitless with Chris Hemsworth does as well as Welcome to Earth, do you think we could get a season 2 of these shows, or do you think other big stars would sign up to do something with National Geographic? I think they probably could do if the money's right, but I think they've also got... It does feel like with Disney Plus coming in with these National Geographic shows, there's more money being made. More, they're spending more money on these shows. I think getting more actors and big name stars to do stuff is probably the easier way of doing it. And even if they just do one season or something, there's a lot of actors out there, big name ones. Welcome to Earth is someone I think they could expand on, but it depends on if he wants to do more of it. But I think it's very noticeable that now that all 3 of those shows being Disney Plus big ones, they've got more money to throw at it, and also it might be something that they can do, like with a negotiation, with the movies and stuff, like do something a bit different. But I definitely think we're going to be doing more of them. I don't know necessarily if we'll see season 2s. It's like with Welcome to Earth. Why not do it with somebody else? Why not get another big actor to do something? Just go touring around and do something completely different. I mean, it was a great show, but if he didn't come back for any more, I personally wouldn't be too sad with that one. But I would like to see, I mean, as far as Limitless, we haven't, I think, we're going to have to wait and see for that show. But I definitely feel like we're going to do it. But again, thank you so much for your super chat. That's fantastic. Thank you so much for the support. Ricardo said, in the US, there's a version of Fox Life on my cable. It's full of shows from Argentina, actually. Yeah, it might be a brand that they've got in Asia. If they've got the brand already existing in like Asia and in Latin America, maybe it's something that they can use, and then we'll get introduced to it here, and we'll get it that way. That might be a way of doing life in that way. Okay, so we're just going to jump back into, we'll do all these pre-done ones first. Era said, do you think they might create brands whether or not they're kept within Star on Disney Plus, or do you think they will go out to more content? So that's like what I was saying earlier, of having some more hubs. Right, let's jump into some of the live ones. Let's see what we got here. Okay. So Kayla said if the Netflix shows move to Disney Plus, it's going to take a lot of money. I definitely agree with that one. Barbara said, is Disney making FX like HBO? Well, FX kind of has always been considered to be like the HBO in some ways, of like very high quality shows. And I think they've definitely gotten on that it's like a premium one. So I think it's good. I mean, I think FX have been making good shows for years. Joe said, I'm hoping American Horror Story seasons 1 to 8 move from Netflix soon. What do you think of season 10 so far? I've not watched it. I'll be honest. I missed it. For some reason, I just didn't kind of carry on with American Horror Stories. I think once Halloween was over, I was kind of out the zone. It's also, I'll be honest, there's been a lot of stuff to review over the last couple of weeks. I think I've been busy doing that one. Two Big Rose said, finally, Brickleberry is on Disney Plus now. You get how funny it is, more funnier than Solo. I'll be honest, I never even heard of that show until it popped up, so I probably should give it a go because I really enjoyed Solar Opposites. Two Big Rose said, I think Daredevil was shed. So yeah, so we've kind of done that one. Joe said, when do you think the French Dispatch will be on Disney Plus internationally? So that one came out like a week after Antlers, didn't it? So it was about the 22nd, I think, was the official release. So Antlers is coming out in Australia this coming Wednesday. I don't know if would release it next week with just before Christmas. I'm probably leaning maybe towards January, the first week of January. I think would be much more. I think that might be more inclined to what they're going to do it, because I don't think they've announced the physical or digital, and I don't think that might not work necessarily over the Christmas week. They might want to just get New Year out the way. So Lady Jennifer Snow, so we've done that one. Okay. Stephen said, said not film from next month's 2 films, Deepwater. Sorry, I don't quite know what that says. I'm just trying to read that one. Yeah, there's a lot of films coming over the next couple of months. Joe said he can't wait to see Spider-Man No Way Home. Can't believe it's finally here. Yeah, I know. Really looking forward to that one as well. I've got like 9 o'clock tickets on Wednesday morning. So I'm literally going to watch Hawkeye and then get in my car and go and watch Spider-Man. So my Hawkeye review on Wednesday is going to be a little bit later. Steven said, what do you think of the new Halo trailer? I've not actually seen the new Halo trailer. I have been playing Halo Infinite in the last couple of nights on the Xbox Series X, so I have been enjoying the new Halo game. I just haven't watched the new Halo trailer. It just, yeah, I didn't. Did they? I think the Game Awards, because it was so long, I didn't bother watching it. Too Big Rose said there's a leak on Mexican news outlet saying that Spider-Man No Way Home will come to Disney Plus in Mexico now. Yeah, no, don't believe any of that. That's it ain't coming to Disney Plus next week. That's definitely not happening. And Mexico's short release windows are they're not going to do 14-day windows yet for that, because if they do that, they're just going to be making more piracy issues. So I cannot see them releasing it on Disney Plus. And also, yeah, it's just way too quick. Ricardo said, is Netflix UK the Fox shows, are they being removed? I know there's a lot of 20th Century and ABC shows leaving Netflix at the end of the month. So there's going to be a lot of them coming. Joe went on to say, I'm really enjoying American Crime Story Impeachment. I think I have recorded it. I have got it on my Sky Planner. I think I have watched the first episode. It's a little bit of a slow series for me. I've not fully got into it. Let's see here. Too Big Rose said, could they launch Star in the US as a hub for Fox films that were, you know what? I'm actually starting to believe that by the time Disney Plus grows in the US to have Star, I think the Star content brand will be gone, and we're going to have more hubs of like 20th Century and FX. And I don't think Star is going to come to the US the way that they've done it for international. I think they're going to, I don't know. I feel like the Star brand isn't as strong as they wanted it to be. What's going on? Fast and Furious takes ages to come anywhere. Well, it's Fast and Furious. I think they've been taking it slow on that one, because it's, I mean, I know it's available on premium video on rental. My VCR says FX is like HBO shows like Sons of Anarchy, Nick Tuck, and Rescue. It's just very high quality ones. Did Netflix UK already retire the FX? No, I think that most of them are going at the end of the month. Brickleberries, Disney Plus releases a surprise, and since UK season 2 and season 3 never aired due to low seasons. Yeah, I think there's a lot of stuff like that. They just kind of pulled the plug on it. Okay, so here we go. So Joshua says, someone has to ask the question, but with the Omicron variant, but Havoc, do you think there will be for? Well, Boris has just been on. I don't know what he said. I'm going to be honest. Boris was just live on TV giving us an update. Well, I know now we've got to wear masks when we go to the cinema from now on. So I definitely think I wouldn't be at all surprised if we have some more restrictions coming in after Christmas. I don't think he can do it before Christmas. I think there's too many Christmas parties, but that's a whole other thing. Khaled said, if Star Hub does remain on Disney Plus overseas, it will likely be Star India Hotstar content. I think Hotstar will get its own hub. I think that will be a way of doing it. I think they will do a Hotstar hub and put everything under that banner, because it's an established brand and it makes sense to use an established brand. You know, you've had Hotstar around for years. Incorporate it and use it. Maybe that's how they can get away from Star brand, and I don't know. But I definitely think we could get that one. Steve said, our Paramount TV channel is going to come on Sky. I think Paramount Plus is going to be on Sky. Barbara said, people say that Disney lost money for 20th Century Fox. I think there's a lot of people that don't necessarily. I think they're just looking at like what 20th Century Fox has done with the movies aren't doing so well at the cinema that they, why did they buy them? And I think they're not really seeing the full picture of how much content is being made by 20th Century television, animation, FX for Hulu and Disney Plus. I don't think people are really taking that into account. There was also a lot of other stations and networks that they've had to been able to rebrand and close down. Hotstar in India was owned by Fox. They got that in the deal, so they've been able to turn, Hotstar into Disney Plus Hotstar, and that's like nearly a third of Disney Plus subscriptions. There's a lot of stuff going on with the 20th Century Fox deal that they actually have done some really great stuff with. I think people are just looking at like West Side Story not doing so well in the cinema, and then kind of going, well, they shouldn't have brought it. It was all a waste of money. I think they've made a lot of money selling off assets as well. So Josh said he's basically saying there's a tidal wave. Yeah, so you're gonna get everyone vaccinated. So that's definitely that one. We've also got here. Kayla said I mentioned on Patreon. Yes, that one we'll do. We'll do that one now anyway, because when it comes up, I mentioned on Patreon about live in front of a studio audiences on Disney Plus, but it's produced by Sony. Could we see more Sony TV content on TV? I think the thing is with Sony, it wouldn't. I think we are going to see more stuff, but I would imagine now that new projects being made with Disney are probably including international distribution rights. Things like the Goldbergs maybe didn't because they were buying it. But I'd imagine from now on, a lot of the stuff that they're doing, they're like, yeah, you'll make a show together, but we want all of it. So I definitely feel like that's the way to do it. Right, let's have a look here at some of the questions. So Gavin said, any idea when NCIS is coming to Disney Plus UK? Does it include previous? They have said all seasons, and all we know is early 2021. Sorry, early 2022. We don't yet know the date, and that will include the new season. Gavin said, why did Disney Plus only release Big Sky Season 2 in Australia? Surely the UK and Canada could have been added for weekly drops. Well, in Canada, I think it airs on Crave, so that's why Canada didn't get Big Sky when it came out last year. Why the UK hasn't got it at the same time as Australia? It's driving me up the wall, because I really enjoyed Big Sky. Why did we didn't get it at the same time as America? I don't know. It's just really annoying with this release schedule of it's all they're not being classed as like Star Originals, like an international Star Original, which I think they need to start looking at them like of going, this is one show and we want it on everywhere that's on Disney Plus internationally. They need to sort that out. Gavin said, when will Mayans and with Mayans MC season added 1 and 2 to the UK, do you think season 3 could be added? It will be added, but obviously they've got to wait until however long the BBC contract's in place. Elliot said, what are you hoping Disney Plus will offer in the future? I know that will be getting new content. I hope Disney Plus will be more consistent with it. That's the one. If we can get a more constant release schedule, especially with all of this, like the shows and stuff, and get everything lined up, that would be the best way. Dana says, rumor is it that Laura Barton is Mockingbird? Is that like Black Widow where there are several of them? Or do you think we could see Bobby Morse? I don't know if they'll do Bobby Morse the same way from Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D. They could do. I mean, you know, she's still doing stuff with Disney for the new the Orville, so she's in that one. I don't think she's Mockingbird. I think this is people reaching. I think she just obviously was maybe a S.H.I.E.L.D. agent or something like that. I don't quite get where this Mockingbird stuff come from. And, you know, at the end of the day, they could do it. So we've done Kayla's question, and this was also Two Big Rose said, I think the reason why Disney can share shows between Hulu and Disney Plus is because Fox still has sharing rights with IMDb and Tubi. Yeah, I think there's a lot of I think they've all got a bit of sharing rights going on with some of the stuff. It depends if it's exclusive or not. Big Ro also said about the Sony deal, so we've done that one. Big Ro said, I think Star could launch in the US as early as 2023, and Disney could let Hulu live another year. And I think it depends if they go with the hub system. If they branch out the hubs a little bit, maybe start with a 20th century hub and kind of build out from there. Again, Stuart said, seen from your video that on that Disney Plus, why are they getting in Australia? And it surprised them. I completely agree. Right, that's good. So we've done all of the previously done questions, which is always great because I think, you know, it really does help when we get questions in advance. I can, especially if they're a little bit more depth, because I can do a little bit of sort of investigation and stuff. Steven says, so Star Player gone be sold to Disney? I don't know, Star Player. Stars, that, you know, they might buy it. We don't know. They've not really said. Thank you very much to John for becoming a new member. Thank you for that. That's great. Thank you for your support. Two Big Rose said, I mean, 14 days is literally the standard release window in Mexico, but I do think Disney Plus Mexico just releases them. I can't. I might be a standard release window in Mexico, but that would cause major problems, I would imagine, with something like Spider-Man. Do they get released later in Mexico? Is that how it works? Do they get? That might be a way of doing it. Joe said, I'm glad they brought back the coming soon section on Disney Plus, but they're not even using it to show what's coming soon. There's not much content. I think, yeah, I think they kind of want to do it, but they're really not kind of doing the basics. You know, even if they could just add the originals. John said Disney owns Daredevil. The characters, they're going to pop up soon. Yep. So we went through that at the beginning. But thank you for your question. Joe said, I wonder when Bob's Burger season 12 will be arriving. Well, it looks like because Comedy Central was still only airing season 11 like earlier this year, there might have been that why it's going to work. John said he saw a special showing of Spider-Man on the 3rd of December. You're going to love it. Cool. Thank you very much. Joshua said they only did like some screenings for early, like the first 30-40 minutes, I think. Joshua said, do you think there'll be a deal international market for Sony? Like I think they very easily could do. But definitely. I would imagine there's something. I was really surprised that they didn't do. I was expecting like the Spider-Man movies to drop onto Disney Plus like in the last couple of weeks. I thought at Disney Plus Day that was going to be their like surprise announcement. Here's the 5 Spider-Man movies, but I know they're all over the place in terms of. I'm literally planning on watching the 2 Spider-Man or all the Spider-Man movies over the next couple of days. My VCR still works. Says, what legacy content do you want to see Disney putting up on Disney Plus in 2022? For my own peace of mind, from the point of view of like the amount of questions I get, I'd like them to put things like House of Mouse, Blue, the Bear House Show, Tarzan, a lot of the stuff that people keep asking for. That would be great because I would, so that we can move on from some of those shows. Personally, get some more of this classic stuff. Go into that 20th Century Studios library, into the 20s, the 30s, the 40s, the 50s. Just get it, anything you possibly can, and just put it on there. Whatever you've got digitally, just start throwing it up on there and really start building out the 20th Studio section. Joe said, I can't wait for Sony with a chance to come to Disney Plus this week. Hopefully that means more. I think they've maybe cottoned on to the idea there was some stuff missing and they've started adding it. So it's definitely right. Joshua said she is Mystifa. Yeah, that it's always that thing as well. I think with that whole thing that happened earlier this year with WandaVision, it's got me going into Spider-Man. Like everyone's expectations are so crazy. Joshua then went, in regards to Hulu, it depends on how arbitration goes, which I believe is still ongoing. Yeah, I wouldn't be at all surprised if they get that sorted at some point in 2022. Kaylee said, speaking of Tubi, I saw that Oswald the Rabbit shorts are available. I wish the Disney animated shorts were on Disney Plus. I understand Disney doesn't own the shorts since it was Universal. Yeah, I don't know if they actually just brought the rights to the character, if they actually got the shorts as well. So, don't know. Definitely strange on that one. Dana said, with the Sony deal, do you think the alternative versions of Disney are looking to purchase Sony Entertainment or Sony? I don't know if they could. Maybe Sony Entertainment. I think buying Sony Corporation, does Disney want PlayStation 5 in PlayStation? I mean, it'd be a good way of kind of making brand new content, but Disney's not been very good at video games. So them owning Sony for Sony PlayStation. I mean, I don't tend to look at Sony so much now about like home electronics, the Walkman and hi-fi and CDs and stuff like that. I don't tend to look at them like that anymore. I don't think they're quite at that same level that they used to be. But yeah, so might be a while off that one. John said, what is your schedule for Christmas and New Year period? So generally we won't be doing the live Q&A on Boxing Day, which is today after Christmas. We're going to be having a week off from that one, but we will be returning again on the 2nd of January with another live Q&A. We'll be literally just going to skip the 1 week because of Boxing Day. As far as the podcast, we're going to be doing the Christmas Day when we would normally record on a Saturday. We're going to do that a couple of days earlier after Hawkeye's aired, and we're going to do the Hawkeye finale and do that one, and that will go up probably a day or two before Christmas. So whenever it's recorded, we'll then get it up a little bit early, so you've got it for the weekend, and then we're going to be back to normal schedule on New Year's Day. There'll be a new episode then. So that's the podcast. The news videos, I'm expecting the week between Christmas and New Year. I'm not expecting to do any. It depends if there's any news. I might do 1 or 2, like the Wednesday, Thursday, Friday, but there's a couple of days bank holiday. I'm expecting a really quiet week, so I might there might not be enough to do a video. So that week between Christmas and New Year, there might not be a lot going on, but I'm also planning on kind of having an easy few days as well. So yeah, so that's the schedule as far as the YouTube goes. I'll be updating the website as and when, if there's any news right through Christmas, because I'm not expecting a huge amount, but that's the plan. Stephen said Antlers in January. Well, it's coming this week in Australia and New Zealand, but we haven't got a UK date or anything yet, or Canada date for that one. Josh has a tailspin in 20. I don't think it'd be good for the UK. It'd be good to get that one. Steve said, glad finally get season 12 Monkeys on Peacock's been waiting. 12 Monkeys. Oh, I haven't watched the series. I saw it pop up on Sky when I was flicking through it on Peacock. Kayla said, aren't they working on a Oswald Rabbit? Oh, that rumor was about 2-3 years ago. It just really hasn't really kind of been, we haven't seen anything on that one at all. Too Big Rose said, I don't know why episodes of American's Funniest Videos are on Disney Plus because it's inappropriate or maybe some of the episodes are lost. Okay, so let's take the episodes. I know they've not put the latest seasons on because there's a different ones. As far as it being inappropriate, I would disagree on that one there. It's this family entertainment, you know, someone just falling off a chair and banging their head and stuff. I've been watching, you know, You've Been Framed, and that was like our version of America. Yeah, it's simple stuff. I don't necessarily think that's inappropriate for. We've been watching that for years as kids. Kayla said it would be great if Disney did release the new Oswald short, so I'm hoping he would show up in future Kingdom Hearts game when he was introduced as Mickey's older half brother. Yeah, they didn't use him really, but then they didn't. I don't know. I do wonder with Kingdom Hearts whether or not they've kind of got to the end of that one or not. I think the creator died, I think, this past week as well. John said, Sony in the past, not so long ago, they're looking to sell their movies and TV rights, not the PlayStation. I think it would make sense for them to maybe, but I know that they've kind of got into this TV thing now where they're selling to everybody else. So that's, I just can't see them selling the PlayStation on TV and stuff. Okay, so Stuart said, should Disney try and do a deal for Handmaid's Tale with MBG? Because I think they're going to leave it as it is, because over here, I mean, it's on Amazon. I don't think they're going to go back and do anything more. Why license stuff that you don't own? You might as well just put that money into something new. And yeah, it's an old show and it's 5 seasons in. Now everything is okay. They won't be selling. Yeah, I think that's the thing with all of that one. Too Big. Here Comes the Grumps was sadly removed from Disney Plus and moved over to Netflix due to being distributed by Hearts. Yeah, you're getting a lot of that with little bits and pieces leaving. Barbara Troy said he would like season 911 on Disney. Joe said, can't wait for Malcolm in the Middle on Disney Plus this week. You know, I haven't seen that for so long. I probably might try an episode or two. I don't know if I can watch that all again. Currently binge watching Seinfeld, but I really need to get back to How I Met Your Mother. So I'm ready for How I Met Your Father. Oh, thank you very much for your super chat, Matt. Thank you very much for your support. Really means a lot. I would like to see more ABC shows added to the US. Also in the US, so we've got what's coming. Also in the US, we got what is coming. Yeah, the coming back section has come back, so that's definitely good. Like to see that stay around for a little bit longer. I mean, the fact that they added all those ABC shows this over the next couple of weeks, you're getting lots of specials, country music special. You're getting a West Side Story behind the scenes stuff that come from 2020. There's a whole host of stuff coming. I really think they're going to start using that ABC as a way of bridging that gap for getting that extra content on. I'm hoping we're going to see a lot more of this, and it makes sense for them to do it. Yeah, I definitely think that's going to be something we're going to see a lot more of. But yeah, I would love to see more ABC stuff. This is the one thing I've been saying a lot was, you know, it made sense to use their family shows because they're not so inappropriate. You know, start using some of those sitcoms and get people engaged. But this month, with the stuff that they've been adding, there's a lot of great stuff there. Joe said, I watched the Game Awards. Hopefully they will do a new Hogwarts Legacy trailer, but unfortunately they didn't get any news on the game since it's meant to be coming out in 2020. I'm glad I didn't watch it because I think it was later for us here in the UK, but I saw all the bits and pieces after the Game Awards. Didn't look like there was a huge amount shown off. So, yeah. Dana said, did you and James do a 2022 predictions, or was that coming out? We are going to be doing an episode where we'll be kind of talking about everything from this year, looking back on 2021. I think I've planned for the 2022 predictions. It'll either be between Christmas and New Year, or it'll be the New Year when we get into the New Year. To be honest, we were expecting it to be a bit quiet last week, and so we were going to do one of them this week. But There was a lot of news and with Hawkeye and stuff. So, but we are planning on doing it. It's always a bit tricky of like when to do this stuff. If you do it, I tend to think you should do it kind of like in January when there's maybe not so much going around. But yeah, we are planning on doing something like that. Joe said I watched the Game Awards. Oh yeah, we done that one. Kayla said even if Sony does sell movies and TV, it's going to take a while since they're going to acquire Z in television in India. Sony is definitely thriving in India with life. I think that's it. I mean, they definitely seem to be going in a different direction with that one. Josh said I heard that the Sony deal was in trouble because some kind of form of boardroom revolt. No, haven't heard about that one. I definitely have to read more into it, but maybe a minor setback, but I'm sure it'll be settled, hopefully. Okay, let's see what else we've got here. So Too Big Row, it says sadly the FX on Hulu Hub was removed and replaced with just a, I wouldn't really say it was, I wouldn't say sadly, they just renamed the hub. That's all they did. I think it makes a lot more sense just to have FX on Hulu. I didn't really understand that whole branding anyway. I thought it was a little bit kind of strange of how they worded it. We don't say Marvel on Disney Plus. We don't say National Geographic on. Yeah, just, I don't know. It seems a bit weird. John said, I want Disney to add a feature. If you don't want to watch a series that you watch a few episodes, you can remove it. Yeah, it would be good to do that. Or if you've only literally watched like 2 minutes of that intertwined, you want to remove it from you because you don't want to watch the rest of it. So it would be good to get that one gone. Joe said, I'm hoping that you can get more Alien and Predator movies. I really want to rewatch them. Yeah, hopefully they will turn up at some point soon. It'd be definitely good to do that one. Stephen said, are you looking forward to the new Matrix? I'll be honest, no. I really enjoyed the first Matrix movie. I kind of enjoyed the second and third. I actually can't really remember them. I remember playing the video game and like that one, and there was the Animatrix, like anime, and I enjoyed them at the time. But I kind of forgot about and it was only funny. I was watching Graham Norton the other day, and Keanu Reeves was on there talking about the movie. Like, oh yeah, that's out. I'm gonna wait. Oh, I'm not gonna bother. It feels like it's. I think with Spider-Man, it's just completely lost in the shuffle with the Matrix. John said, any news on the sale of BT Sports? I was looking into this last night. Nothing seems to be coming through yet. It does seem, though, that ESPN, when they signed the latest contract with BT, it was a 7-year contract that expires in January. So this might be an issue with this could be something interesting coming up with ESPN Plus or ESPN on Disney Plus in the future. If the brand, if they're coming away from BT, that could be a way of getting around it, because yeah, the contract with BT runs out in January. Unless they've made something, but they've not made anything public. The press releases all said a 7-year deal in January, I think it was 2015, so it is coming up. Kayla said, I actually like that the FX on Hulu was simply renamed FX and still open up FX content to. I just think it just makes more sense. I think it just makes more sense in the long run to get rid of that branding. John Royce, do you think Hulu plus live TV is a waste of money just to get extra content such as South Park and Amphibia? I think you've got to look at it differently. Of Hulu plus live TVs, if you've got someone that still wants to watch traditional television the way that they used to, and they don't want to pay for cable, it's a good kind of tie-in. Personally, for me, I mean, I have satellite television and I have streaming services. I like having a backup of and being able to watch live television, but also, I'm a little bit older. I've been used to watching live TV. I mean, we were watching live TV later. You just turn on the TV and it's there, and you just flick through the channels and stuff. You don't always want to be trying to find something to watch on streaming, or especially if you only want it on in the background, or you just. So I don't think it's a waste of. I personally wouldn't pay the money that you're paying for Hulu Live. It does seem very expensive, but yeah. Okay. So Joshua said Discovery seemed to be circling around BT Sports, as apparently that's are going on. Yeah, I think generally it makes sense. I mean, I think Discovery could then like merge it in with Eurosports and Discovery Plus. Yeah, I definitely think it's going to be gone, but it would be. I don't think, by the looks of it, it doesn't look like it's going to include ESPN. Reading the content that I saw yesterday. John said, when is the January watch list coming out for the UK and Ireland? Usually it drops on the 15th of the month, which will be what's that? We're looking at probably Wednesday. So anytime this week, I'm expecting the US list to drop. Usually then after that, the UK list will drop after that. So I would imagine it's going to come out this week, because I'm guessing the week afterwards, there's going to be a lot of people maybe missing in terms of Disney because of Christmas, but also, when like journalists and stuff will start shutting down, and I imagine it will be coming this week. Hello again. Thank you very much to Matt says, do you think the ABC banner in the US and around the world? I don't think they'll add an ABC banner. I think they might do it in the US, but I don't think they can do it around the world, because like in Australia, there's already an ABC, an Australian Broadcast Corporation. They might add it, but I think it's more likely going to be maybe under Star, or maybe in the US they will just like call that. They'll have something there, but it's a little bit of a problem with that being a global brand, because it's a bit tricky. It's definitely a bit tricky with that one. But thank you again for your support. That means a lot. Big Rose said, would be surprised if FX comes to Disney Plus. I don't think it will come in 2022. I think they've got to get the Hulu deal purchased and out the way. I think it'll be a while before. I think if they're going to do it, they're going to maybe start sliding in ABC content first, and kind of do it softly. I think the American market might need it a little bit softly than how they did it internationally. Kelly said, I'm a Hulu live TV. It's definitely worth it for me, since DirecTV, Stream, and Fubo are more pricey, and Sling doesn't have the logos. Cool. I'm glad you're enjoying it. That's always the main thing. My V says, did you see Disney are doing K-pop concerts like Billie Eilish? Yeah, I know they've got Blackpink is going to be one that's going to be coming in this week in Australia and New Zealand. So hopefully it'll be coming everywhere. And I think Korea and Japan and stuff. Kieran actually forgot. Yeah, it was really funny when I'm not surprised, because I've forgotten what the name of the movie was as well. But yeah, he was funny when he was doing that one. I was like doing this, and yeah, he was a really kind of cool interview. Dana said, with all the upcoming rollouts in 22, do you think they'll hit 200 million? I don't know if they will hit 200 million if they can do it by this time next year. What's that, about 60-70 million they might have to add. They're going to have to release in a lot of countries to get up that high, and to get any more US subscribers, they're going to need to do a lot more work to get that up any higher. I probably would maybe say 170, 180 if they really start ramping up the rollouts. I think 200 million might be a bit of a stretch. Ricardo said, do you think Disney could change the image of Hulu to be more like Disney Plus? No, I think they're not gonna spend any more money doing anything with Hulu. I think that's just throwing money on, and they're not going to spend any money on rebranding or doing anything with Hulu until they've got full control over it. All right, so just a quick heads up, we've got about 2 more minutes. I'm going to do the questions we've got here already. John says, do you think Disney Plus will ever do live TV on the app? Yes, I think they will do. I think it's going to be live sports, because that actually integrates into Joshua's question of when do you think we'll get announcements about Hotstar in the UK? I would imagine maybe when we get into January, when they've sorted out that ESPN stuff and what they're doing with their sports, because that could be a way of them doing live TV, is bringing things like cricket and stuff that they've got the rights to. Joe said, I wonder when Hitmonkey is going to come to Disney Plus internationally. It looks like January. I was sent a press release from, I think it was like Singapore, with a poster and stuff. So I think it's going to be coming in, but I've been waiting on, it could be in other ones, but I think it's going to be January for that one. Too Big Rose said, will Disney Plus ever share 2 shows? Like, I don't know who would they share them with, but so I don't know. So they don't make. I think they could share Blackish on Disney Plus. I don't think they could do Family Guy. Kaylee said, I remember he said he wouldn't mind joining the MCU. I think he'll be joining in at some point. Too Big Rose said, here in Mexico just today, Star Plus decided to do a free trial for a day, and next day you pay for it. They're going to need to do trials to get people in. I think that's definitely the problem. My VCR says, do you think Disney will look at other servers beside? Yeah, I mean, Amazon went down, and that can cause a lot of problems, but a lot of people use it. I mean, I'd looked into it myself for the website. They might look at doing something, but it's the how much it's going to cost to do that. As they said, Josh has said AWS was also used by Netflix. It's used by video games. It's used by apps, websites. It's just so big. And unfortunately, it happens to everyone. So I must admit, it did make me feel a lot better when Disney Plus goes down, and because then when my website goes down, it's not quite so bad. Right, last question. Too Big Row said, I think the reason the new Ice Age is probably to do with different release in different countries. I think it's probably subtitles or dubbing of why that is. Right, okay, thank you very much for all of your questions today. Always great to jump in here and doing questions with you guys. It really does make a massive difference, having all the different discussions and some great ones today. Much, a bit of variety, always good to have. On that note, guys, thank you very much. I'll be back next week for that'll be the last live Q&A of the year, which is quite scary. But yeah, so this will be the last. Next week will be the last live Q&A of the year, and then it'll be back then on the 2nd of January. So on that note, guys, thank you very much. See you guys soon. Later. I'd like to thank all of our Patreon and YouTube channel members for their support. You can become a member from as little as $2 a month, and you get access to our weekly Q&A and much more.